The old man sat by the fire, and its flames danced, casting long shadows on the cottage walls. A young girl, Ilara, listened with wide eyes. The air was thick with the smell of wood smoke and old stories. He had many stories, but this one was special. Clearing his throat, the fire crackled softly, a sound like secrets being told, a comfortable sound for a strange tale. He began to speak, his voice low, like the rustle of dry leaves. "Tonight, Ilara," he said, "I will tell you of a place few remember now, a place where time itself learned to wait." The shadows seemed to lean in closer, and the wind outside sighed as if the night itself wanted to hear. He spoke of mysteries, of things hidden from the everyday world. "This story is about time," the old man continued, his gaze distant. "Time is a river, they say, always flowing, always moving forward. But what if it wasn't?" He paused, letting the question hang in the warm air. What if sometimes the river stopped? What if it held its breath? Ilara shivered, though not from cold, imagining a world frozen, a world silent. "There was such a place," he whispered. He promised a tale of wonder, of quiet magic. Oakhaven, a village lost in the folds of forgotten maps. Cobblestone streets worn smooth by centuries of quiet footsteps. Houses of timber and stone leaned like old friends. A gentle quiet lay over everything. The people moved with slow, deliberate grace. They knew the river's moods and lived in harmony. Their lives were simple, their days uncounted. The river flowed near the whispering woods. Most days it gurgled and flowed like any other river, but sometimes it would change. The change was profound. A man named Arthur lived far from Oakhaven in a world of noise and rush, but a strange disquiet grew within him, a feeling that something was missing, a quiet ache in his soul. He felt a pull, a yearning for something he could not name. He heard whispers, faint tales of a village where time behaved differently. He heard of the still water. At first he dismissed the stories, calling them folklore, calling them fancy. Yet the pull remained, growing stronger each day like an invisible thread tugging at his heart, leading him towards the unknown, towards a place he only half believed existed. The restless feeling wouldn't leave him. He knew he had to seek it out, find this place. So, one grey morning, Arthur packed a small bag, putting in only what he needed, and left his busy life behind. He did not tell anyone where he was going. He simply walked away towards the rumours, towards the forgotten village of Oakhaven, towards the mysterious river. Arthur finally emerged from the deep woods, standing at the edge of the still water. The water was motionless, a perfect mirror reflecting the overcast sky above. And there, by the water's edge, he saw a figure. A woman stood gazing into the still surface, her hair the colour of spun silver, flowing down her back like a moonlit waterfall. Her eyes were a pale, knowing grey, older than the ancient trees. A faint, enigmatic smile touched her lips. "You came?" she said, her voice soft, like autumn leaves rustling on a dry path. The silver-haired woman gestured towards the forest, the same forest Arthur had just passed through. "The answers you seek are not only in the still water," she said. Her voice was a gentle guide. "They are also found in the silence, in the spaces between the trees." Arthur hesitated, then nodded. He stepped back into the forest, this time with a new purpose. The forest felt different now, deeper, more alive. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy. It cast dappled patterns on the mossy ground. Shadows danced like shy spirits. Every snap of a twig, every rustle of a leaf seemed to hold meaning. It was as if the forest itself was trying to speak to him in a language older than words. He listened intently. A profound sense of solitude enveloped him. It was not an empty loneliness. It was a solitude filled with presence. He felt the ancient trees watching him. Arthur often returned to the river's edge. He would sit for hours, gazing into its still surface. The silver-haired woman sometimes sat silently beside him. Occasionally she offered cryptic words. Mostly she let the river do its work. The river showed him everything without judgment. Days, or perhaps moments, passed by the still water. Time had lost its usual rhythm. Arthur sat with his past, confronting his regrets. He did not shy away from the pain. The silver-haired woman appeared beside him. The sun broke through the clouds. "Regret is an anchor, Arthur," she said softly. "Reflection can be a sail." Her words resonated deep within him. He began to see a path forward. The old man by the fire paused in his telling. He poked the embers and sparks flew upwards like fleeting thoughts. He looked at Ilara. Her young face was serious, captivated by Arthur's journey. Then one morning the old man continued. Arthur woke by the river. And something was different. The river was flowing. The sound was a gentle murmur. The silver-haired woman was gone. She had vanished as mysteriously as she had appeared. The forest around him seemed brighter, the leaves greener. The air felt fresh and clean. Arthur stood up. He felt different too. He felt lighter, renewed. The burden he had carried for so long had eased. The stillness had taught him. He understood then, the old man explained, that time doesn't stop for us to change the past. We cannot undo what is done. The river pauses, not to offer escape, but to offer clarity. He met Ilara's gaze. It stops so we can truly see ourselves, so we can understand our journey. The old man smiled. The fire had burned low, only glowing embers remained. "We all have our still-water moments, child," he said gently to Ilara. "Life has its ways of making us pause, of making us reflect on the path we are treading. These moments, Ilara, are not curses. They're often hidden gifts, opportunities to learn."